Hey, we got your Marvel News number 101 right here. It's going to be an all Avengers and Icon Comics update. We're going to talk about Brian Bendis' last arc on the Avengers. It's coming up later this year. We're also going to talk about Marvel's new line of kids comics. They've totally revamped the whole kids line. Kick-Ass is getting a spin-off book, and who will be the new Nemesis, because the old one is... All that and more coming right up. Lots of stores can make lots of claims about themselves, but only I can make the claim that nobody has ever paid full price for a new comic here at Alternate Reality. Since 1994, every new comic that's walked out the door has been discounted 15% off. So if you want to save 15% off your new comics, there's only one place to come, and that's Alternate Reality.
Marvel News? Give it to us straight, comic book man. We can take it.
Striking the right note when nobody's watching. Marvel Comic Book News, Episode 101, Mind Over Mass Hysteria.
Hey folks, Comic Book Man here. Welcome once again to my video outhouse. It's time
This is how
for
you do it.
Marvel News! Marvel News! And Marvel News is coming here from this place, Alternate Reality, which is located at the intersection of 111th and Kedzie in beautiful
foothills.
downtown Mount Greenwood.
Foothills of Mount
Alternate Reality, where all my new comics, including all my Marvel comics and all
How
my
much?
Avengers comics and all my Avengers
Icon?
Marvel Icon comics, they're all 15% off every day for everyone.
What you need?
Oh, and on this Avengers and Icon update, our first story is going to be Brian Bendis. Brian Bendis is going to be setting up what in a new Avengers book?
Well, Brian Bendis, of course,
Yes.
he's leaving the Avengers books as of
Aloha.
like September or October.
Yes,
And
the other end of this year.
Right, but he's doing the first arc of the new Avengers.
My God, he's leaving Avengers. Yeah, in about 8 months.
Well, yeah, it's 8 months.
You got a long time.
But yeah, the first arc of Avengers is
This is
similar with
farewell
Mark
tour.
Bagley. Someone involved in that first arc will be setting up one of Bendis' next projects. And
Who?
Well, Marvel won't say what he's working on, but they said that when you find out what he's working on next, you're gonna be like, wow,
You're going to flip out. You'll freak out.
that I never would have expected that.
Taking over Spider-Man?
No, he's not taking over Spider-Man.
Okay. So it's going to be a WoW time coming up, huh?
Wow. It's
Wow.
biggie.
Speaking of WoW, you know what kids say most of the time when they come into Alternate Reality? I don't
What?
want to be here. Can we go home? But the
I've heard
parents,
them
the
say
parents
that.
say,
Oh, those
go
weird
out, buy
parents.
something. The parents say, wow, what a great store. I wish I had a store like this when I was a little kid. And the kids go, can I go home? Anyway, that's not stopping Marvel from redoing their kids line of books. And the first thing up is going to be...
Well, you're gonna hit in April. I think March is like the last issue of the Marvel Adventures stuff. In April, you're gonna have 2 new kids books. You're gonna have the Avengers: Earth Mightiest Heroes Adventures #1,
Yeah.
and Ultimate Spider-Man Adventures #1. Now, the difference between this incarnation of the kids books and the
Yes.
last incarnation is these books will be written by people who write the mainstream books. Chris Yost, who writes for Avengers: Earth Mightiest Heroes, the animated series, he will be writing the Avengers book with art by Adam DeRaker, and that'll be 2 stories an issue involving some weird stuff going on. Now, Ultimate Spider-Man Avengers is going to be from the Man of Action team, the people behind Ben 10. It's Joe Casey and all those, Joe Kelly and all those guys.
Which Ultimate Spidey is that going to be? Is that going to be Peter Parker or is
It's
that going
going
to
to
be the new
be
kid?
the Ultimate. Well, it's going to be whatever Ultimate Spider-Man happens to be in the new animated series will be popping up on Disney. But that'll be from
So as DC does with their kids' books,
Yes.
so Marvel is now doing with their kids'
Yes.
books. They're going to copy whatever they're doing in animation to their books.
because they figure the kids are watching the show, they might as well pick up the book.
This was the bold new concept that Marvel was scratching its head over and trying to figure out for about a year now. What do we do with the kids' book? What do we do
Well,
with the
we
kids'
have
book?
the time
Wait a
to
minute.
think.
What's DC doing with the kids' books? Oh, they just make comics out of their cartoons. Brilliant idea. Why didn't we think of that?
Didn't that work with superheroes? Didn't they try to do that with superheroes? Marvel superheroes.
Marvel Superheroes was more of a rotating anthology book.
Yeah,
But
different
wasn't it
character
based on
mode.
their animated series?
It was based on a little
no.
bit of everything.
Oh,
But
okay.
the Spider-Man book, the set of the Men of Action people,
Uh-huh.
Dan Slott, who writes the Amazing Spider-Man, is writing the books, and it'll have art by Ty Templeton.
Okay.
And so, Ty Templeton's a pretty good artist for
Classing
kids.
up their kids' books.
Yeah, and so this will be like Marvel's big new focus. They'll be advertising the hell of it because they're going to be a big part of Disney's XD.
Okay. Well, kids' books. Kids' books are A-okay here at Alternate Reality. I got the biggest kids' book selection of any comic book store in the city of Chicago, and anything Marvel wants to do to promote kids' books is A-okay by me, even if they want to revamp their line and tie it in with their animated series, as long as they're putting some product out there for kids.
I love kids.
Not for kids is Marvel's Icon line.
The opposite.
And first up, we're going to talk about Icon is Nemesis. Nemesis is coming back. Now, I know you're saying to yourself, isn't he dead?
Yes.
Not really.
Well,
Sorta, kinda.
Nemesis. We told you in one of our previous updates that Nemesis will be coming out in September.
Yeah.
Now we know what it's going to be about. Now the plan for Mark Millar and Lionel Francis Wu was always for this to be a 12-issue thing. So.
Oh, okay. Well, they've done 4 so far.
Right. The first Nemesis is dead. The second series will have the funeral of the original Nemesis,
Yes.
and we will find out that there is a competition to be the next Nemesis.
Oh, the costume just gets handed down from
The
person
costume
to person.
gets handed down from person to person because these are basically millionaires who decide to have fun, put on the Nemesis costume, go out and just do evil stuff.
Why do I see one of these people like dying a horrible death at some
Oh,
along the
that's
way?
probably going to happen. Now,
Like Donald Trump taking it on and going out and like getting run over by a truck or something.
Now, in 2013, you'll get Volume 3 of Nemesis,
Okay.
and it'll wrap up the concept. And the film version of Nemesis will be directed and written by the Greys' Joe Carnahan,
Well,
who's a
okay.
big comic book fan. But he's the guy working on it. It's not.
That's the Liam Neeson film.
That's the
already.
Liam Neeson film that's out right now.
Yeah. Okay.
Not Ridley Scott, but Joe Carnahan.
Okay. Also at the Icon line, Kick-Ass, one of the big hits of the Icon line. Not the original hit, which would have been Powers, which is taking forever to get on TV.
Powers is taking a while.
But Kick-Ass, which made the big splash 2 years ago, 3 years ago with the movie, and then everybody was crazy about Kick-Ass, is getting a spin-off book.
Hit Girl.
Hit Girl.
Hit Girl's going to get her own limited series. John Romita Jr. is drawing it. Mark Millar is writing it. It'll be popping up in May, and it'll show her taking over because Kick-Ass, since he doesn't have any powers, he goes out, he fights crime, he breaks
And he
some
gets
of his
his
fingers.
Gets his butt kicked.
And since you can't really fight crime with broken fingers, she will have to take over and go out and hit the streets. And if you're a continuity fan, this takes place between Kick-Ass Volume 1 and Kick-Ass Volume 2. And not only will this series tell you what's going on with Hit Girl, it'll show the evolution of the Red Mist from being a geek in Kick-Ass 1 to being a real evil SOB in Kick-Ass 2.
An evil SOB.
He was really evil.
Okay. You were saying something about Powers?
Powers, March 1st is the point where they're going to figure, where FX is going to figure out what they're going to do with it. They more or less have told them that the thing's going to keep going, and if you're a fan of the Powers comic book series, you're going to be getting issues coming on a regular basis in 2 months.
Powers hasn't debuted yet, though.
Well,
When is Powers actually going to be on TV?
Well, Powers will probably be on TV. Well, it can't possibly be on by this fall. I'm assuming it may pop up because FX doesn't really follow fall, summer. It'll probably be by January because after March 1st, they've got to go with the options on the actors.
Yeah.
And that means that Charles Dutton, who's playing the cop,
Right.
Jason Patrick, who's playing Christian Walker,
Okay.
all their options are over after March 1st. So FX has to make their move by then, or they have to recast.
So they'll make their move.
So they'll
You
probably
would-
make
one
their move
assumes.
by that point. I mean, if anything, you'll get at least a season out of it.
And as far as the comics go, they're going to start coming out more on a
Mike,
more regular
Michael
basis.
Evan Emming is actually drawn. He's about 2 issues in the can, and so they're going to solicit it, and it'll be shipping monthly.
Well, at least for 2 issues.
Well,
Is it supposed to shadow the TV series?
no, because and they said the biggest problem with the Powers TV show is the fact that it's not exactly a concept easily explained to TV viewers because you're talking about
High concept.
yeah, it's a little too high concept for some, so they're trying to get it to the point where it's a little
Are they-
less high concept.
So they're
that
dumbing it down.
Well, they're going to dumb it down a little. I'm assuming Christian Walker will not be walking around as a caveman with superpowers in this thing.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's it. We're done. We're finished right here. We got no more Marvel news. But you go to the store's website. Check out all the Marvel news. This man sends me that I post up. Hey, Bo, where's the store's website?
Sarah knows all this stuff if she's still alive after we tape this.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe you AARP or you should try Ginkgo biloba. www.myalternatereality.com.
So go to the store's website. Check out all of the news that he sends me that I post up. And until next time, this is Comic Book Man
And this is Bo.
saying, toodaloo.
The Video Outhouse is brought to you by some of the finest people willing to work for free. This is a list of some of them.